being used for certain reasons. The views and events expressed here are totally whacked and are not necessarily the views of anyone.
Choose your destiny.
I think it is absolutely possible for what they're afraid of to be being done. Like I said, read the user agreement alone.
So this is NPR. It says the FBI alleges TikTok poses national security concerns. The head of FBI says the Bureau has national security concerns about the U.S. operations of TikTok, warning that the Chinese government could potentially use the popular video sharing app to influence American users or control their devices. The FBI has a number of concerns. Director Christopher Wray told a House Homeland Security Committee hearing about worldwide threats on Tuesday, just days after Republican lawmakers introduced a bill that would ban the app nationwide. They include the possibility that the Chinese government could use it to control data collection on millions of users or control the recommendation algorithm, which could be used for influence operations if they so choose, or to control software on millions of devices, which give it an opportunity to potentially technically compromise personal devices, Ray said. TikTok, which hit 1 billion monthly active users in September 2021, is owned by the Chinese company ByteDance. Chinese national security laws can compel foreign and domestic firms operating within the country to share their data with the government upon request, and there are concerns about China's ruling Communist Party using this broad authority to gather sensitive intellectual property, proprietary commercial secret, and personal data. So again, I don't think that it's just completely baseless. But what about if they're saying that they're worried that TikTok is doing this? What about the American companies? Do you not think that there's a chance? And what about them doing that exact same thing to us, to the American people, as well as people in other countries that are using these apps like Facebook?
Well, first of all, we watched how the algorithms of Facebook and Twitter and all of that deconstruct the right. I mean, it's no doubt that it's done, but we're talking about all of this data, all of this information, all of this algorithm, including, say, your search histories from other, like, why does it need access to your Google search history? Things like that. There's file names. Like I said, it's in, look at what it has access to. And that's what the concern is. What is capable of being done with that access. No app in the United States has that kind of access. I mean, you can look it up.
So, but I would say, what the other apps, what are they capable of? You know, they're saying
that's what I'm saying. Research it. Most of them cannot do a lot of that. Most of them have to have explicit permission. TikTok gives you permission to do all of your files and stuff when you agree. It asks if you would like to use the allow the camera and the mic and stuff like that. And no one's done a breakdown of the code, but it is possible for them to activate them from the other side. But a lot of them do. That's why, that's the same as being hacked, but they're saying it's controllable by the company, that they don't have anything blocked to stop the company from doing it, like we're supposed to have in America.
Yeah, so they're saying that the government has access to this stuff. So if they want to use it for however they want to use it, they can, and the company can't stop them.
Say, including, say, some closeted Republicans' secret Grindr profile,
some money, some super PAC. But what about
some rich billionaires' chats with pedo chats with somebody, things like that? But China would have access to all of that information.
I'm saying that I don't think it's much different. And it freaking Zuckerberg looked like
Not
he
different doesn't make it right. And yes, it is different. Look at what they have access. Look at what they can do as opposed to
so
what
what
you're
about
allowing them. I
the
mean, like I said, look
Zuckerberg
into this.
and the CIA working together and doing the same thing with the American people? And they said something that's really interesting when they said they can manipulate the algorithm to, motivate the behavior of a person. So that's kind of like, what do they call it? Like the brainwashing thing.
Kind
Like
of
you
like the last 2 years,
and freaking
kind of like everything that happened after a certain somebody got elected.
and radicalizing these people to the point where they don't have to give them orders. They done freaking radicalized them and sent them down a road that's going to lead them to do certain things that they already know is going to happen.
Like peaceful protests.
Like killing themselves, like killing people at a shopping mall, at a grocery store, you know?
No, it's not quite Manchurian Candidate yet, the manipulating. But what is the end result? You know, a society of people that cannot be just predicted, but can be anticipated,
Well,
controlled.
manipulated.
That way, it's like, oh, this one has the right potentials for our algorithm. We will make his life easier. You know, this guy, he'll never be more than a plumber. This guy, he'll never be more than a server. This guy,
Something
he'll
like
never be
that.
more than a gardener. This
I,
guy, oh, potential, let's make his life easier. I mean, living in the
but
matrix, but it's a human design matrix.
right. And then they manipulate the algorithm to
Okay, watch
drive you.
watch the HBO show Westworld
Yeah,
and
I
get
saw
through
the
the
whole
first.
thing. I
Okay,
loved it.
so you know what, that's what I'm saying. Now think of that, but just it all being human minders. Oh, Person of Interest. Watch Person of Interest, the series. You will love that one.
So, but
Remember that one. It's an older show, about 10 years, give or take a little bit.
send me a link on the in the group chat. Freaking but I'm I'm harping on the fact that if they're claiming China could be doing this, possibly, that automatically points back to saying that they could possibly be doing that too. Have the capabilities to do these things. If they're saying
Where
China
you
can
say,
do it,
see, you're still supposing when we've already said they just did it for the last couple of years.
I really think so.
They manipulate. What do you think the whole Twitter thing is coming out right now with the Elon's exposing
and
that
and
they've
related
been
to
doing this already?
and related to the election, related to the
It's gonna
laptop.
Remember, information is a little thing. A little bit of it is all it takes. These people are going to get it. They're going to start digging. They're going to start running with it, and more is going to get exposed, and then more, and then more, and then well, then someone's going to find out about Hillary, and it's going to be some more Epstein stuff going on.
Let me read some more of the article. It says TikTok has long said it stores U.S. user data within U.S. and does not comply with Chinese government content moderation requirements. But the company has come under increasing scrutiny in recent months. And in July, it acknowledged that non-U.S. employees did in fact have access to U.S. user data. Citing leaked meeting audio, BuzzFeed News reported in June that China-based ByteDance employees have repeatedly accessed non-public data like phone numbers and birthdays of U.S. TikTok users. Separately, Forbes reported in October that ByteDance planned to use TikTok to monitor the personal location of some specific American citizens, which the company denied. Ray said at the hearing that Chinese law essentially requires companies to do whatever the government wants them to do wants them to in terms of sharing information or serving as a tool of the Chinese government. And so that's plenty of reason by itself to be extremely concerned, he added. The FBI has in the last few years been shifting its focus to China. In July, Ray said China was the biggest long-term threat to our economic and national security and accusing Beijing of having interfered in recent elections. So this
Gee, who didn't we have a president not too long ago that was saying that, and everyone called him a xenophobic dumbass?
Yeah, but I have to say, like I say, I feel like there's a lot of propaganda in this. It feels like a propaganda piece. It reads like a propaganda piece, but there's always some truth in it. This part where
Dude,
he's saying,
everything the way you read it is a propaganda piece because you basically tear apart and deny everything.
hey, I'm a skeptic. This is the part, though, I hear truth in this, where it says the FBI has in the last few years been shifting its focus to China. In July, Rice said, China has the biggest long-term threat to our economic and national security. I think they're telling the truth right there, but I don't think it's necessarily
You
related
read
to.
all of this and all you pull out of it is, oh, FBI's making a propaganda war against China, that we're going after China.
I,
America bad. All right, man.
that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the corporations. I always say it's always the corporations. It's not the government, anyways. It's the corporations. The corporations are not. They don't want the competition of TikTok. That's it. The monopoly. That's it. They don't want to share the freaking user datas or whatever they're mining themselves from the American people with the Chinese. That's it. Related to the Chinese companies. You know, we don't want them to make their money. That's us. Get out of our freaking pockets.
Dude, again, you are not up on what's going on and what you agree to with it, including things like location and stuff. That's why all the government employees can't use it and cops, because it can literally be used to pinpoint you. Yeah, cell phones can to blah blah blah, but there's certain allowances that have to be done to be able to pinpoint you. They can't just go, "Hey, look, there he is." You know, anybody can't. They
But
can if you have that app on your phone.
but you said earlier about the freaking
Just to,
agreement
that
at
that's
the
that's the agreement at the beginning. It all says that in there.
right, and how most people, and we said how most people are just going to click yes. You remember, have you ever had an iPhone? You know, when you start the iPhone, it has the fucking terms and shit. That shit is
Yep,
like 20 pages or
and
some shit.
I believe the longest one of them had was 83 pages long.
And
The
that's
average being about 40, and done in their style, done in a 10-point Roman font like you're supposed to type in high school or college. Most of them would be pushing 120 to 200 pages.
and is anybody gonna fucking read that
That's
shit? No,
exactly why they do that. And it's also
and
done in this word now replaces this for the rest of this document stuff and all kinds of weird
so
stuff.
so how much are they just the iPhone alone or whatever, without even talking about the apps that you're putting on there? How much of that phone alone is already doing this kinds of stuff? And
Again, look into what is allowed by American law and what they are. You're just sitting, oh, how much, how much, how much? I'm serious, look into it. I mean,
these people don't care about the law. They don't care about the law. If they
see,
get caught,
oh,
they just pay
no,
their suit.
yeah, we're supposing here, but like I said, we have to work on the idea that we can't prove they're doing that. Anything as us saying that then this is what they're doing is us putting our motivations to them and then attacking them for it, and that's not fair.
I can give you that. Let me read
I'm
some
not
more.
saying nothing's hanky, and that's why I'm saying it the way I am and the way I'm agreeing. And I am
It's
saying, yeah, there are
I'm
certain allowances like our ones. They can't tell you they can't do that location thing. You have to allow location specifically,
yeah.
not
So
in TikTok.
I'm speculating.
You
I'm
know how
definitely
and all of
speculating.
why
Yeah,
why would they need to be able to track where they are? And again, these permissions include minors who are supposed to have their parents' permission, but they don't. Um,
but
and
all of
no
all
offense,
of the
there's a big market for pictures of stuff like that too over there
all of the
in a
apps ask for
legal
your
kind of way.
all the apps ask for your location. Even just Google, when you do a Google search, it asks if
But you can say
permission.
no. But you can say no. Since you've said it once and it's always on, they never have to ask again.
That shit keeps popping up. It pops up on all the different apps. You open another app, it pops up.
Well, mine does for
If
everything because I keep my location off.
yeah, so that's how I know it
And
pops up.
still I still have two times a day one of the apps will automatically pop my location on.
That's what I'm saying. It's all of that shit is going on. So them knowing your location, and then I don't even think you have to have the phone, like depending on the phone, like the Apple phones, I think those are the ones because of the
Again,
security.
why do you want to chime into this? Why do you want them to know where our people are? Why do you want them to be able to single and target these people out?
Why
This
would
is
I
the kind of
want the
access to information they have direct access to.
why would I
No,
want
no,
even
no. Not on
I
my
don't want
kids. Not on these people.
I, I don't. I'm saying I don't want the government, our corporations to be knowing our location like that either.
Then take a look at what they can and then throw your cell phone into a glass of water.
Because that's what the only way you're gonna do it. Because like I say, with the Apple phone, I think even when it's off, like we be talking about security message, the
No,
Apple's
you
is
have to remove the battery.
see, so that's where
And
the location.
Guess what you can't do on an Apple?
Remove the battery. Unless you have you could do it if you have the little special tools that they use. But who the fuck has them?
If you got the tools and the time, but if you're worried about someone tracking you down, do you have the tools and the time?
I don't even know where you would buy those
Why
tools.
would
Like
you
they
want
don't
to do
have.
that? Oh, I need to call Domino's real quick. Let me put my iPhone back together.
Yeah, like who's doing that? Who's doing that? So yeah, so I think that as far as the location, that's the basic. They
See
they they know that.
that's a national security factor with the iPhones.
So let me read some more. It says U.S. concerns over TikTok are not new. Various government officials have issued similar warnings over the years, and two presidential administrations have tried to address the security concerns in different ways. The Committee on Foreign Investments in the United States, which conducts national security reviews of foreign companies' deals, ordered ByteDance to divest from TikTok back in 2020. Then President Donald Trump tried to have the app shut down in the U.S. unless it's spun off from ByteDance, but faced challenges in court. President Biden paused the efforts when he took office, but his administration has continued to engage in national security negotiations with the company. The New York Times reported in September that CFIUS and TikTok have reached a preliminary agreement on safeguards that would satisfy the U.S. When asked at Tuesday's hearing about what action the U.S. is taking, Ray said that discussion is more appropriate for a classified setting. But he did say that the FBI's Foreign Investment Unit is involved in the CFIUS process. Our input would be taken into account in any agreements that might be made to address the issue, he added. A TikTok spokesman confirmed that in a statement emailed to NPR on Wednesday, adding that the proposed agreement goes beyond data security to address issues like governance, content moderation, and algorithmic transparency. So why can't they just do that? Why do they have to just ban the whole TikTok? How come they can't just like be like, hey, okay, you guys, you can't fucking know what files is on the damn computers. You can't trick the people into like, yeah, and you
because
can't give access.
they're not agreeing to it.
I don't know how would we know
They're
that from
not
this
agreeing
article?
because they wouldn't be trying to kick them and ban them if they were complying.
Well, it sounds like a knee jerk reaction, like all of our politics
They
do. Oh, let's just ban TikTok.
No,
And
it's another one of those things that because 45 tried to do it, it's a bad thing. Oh wait, he's gone now. Wait a minute. You know what? Now that you've forgotten about that, TikTok's bad. We brought it up.
so then it becomes a political issue and being able to use as a political tool because then it's be like, oh, I
I'm
want.
sorry, dude. I'm going to tell you this. I agree right now with the way it is and with the information that's available and how the invasiveness of it. I agree. It needs to either be rehashed or pulled.
Okay,
Because
so
it is not acceptable as a product right now in its form.
and that's okay. But riling up the people and then using it as political, because if you say I want to ban it, then that might be good enough reason to get you to vote for that person, right?
Not
You,
really.
but you get what I
Dude,
mean by using it
I'm
as a
sorry.
political tool.
Their issue of TikTok is not as important to me as border control right now. Because TikTok, they've already banned it from certain federal employees in the military. Okay, people are seeing. They're seeing without going after it, they're already seeing this is something that is not good and we consider it a security threat. So now people are going to look into it. That's all I want right now. Let people start looking into this. Bring some awareness out. You know, you're saying why not, why not, why not? I'm saying no, 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 and I'm like, this is what we need to look into. This is why. This is something that people are having to figure out right now.
Let me
Because
read this. Let me read this. It says
go
some
ahead.
lawmakers are pushing for a ban. The idea of TikTok ban appears to be gaining traction once again. In late October, Senate Intelligence Committee Chairman Mark Warner, Democrat Virginia, said that the app posed privacy and security concerns to Americans and went a step further by praising Trump's approach. This is not something you would normally hear me say, but Donald Trump was right on TikTok years ago, Warner told Australia's Sydney Morning Herald. If your country uses Huawei, if your kids are on TikTok, the ability for China to have undue influence is a much greater challenge and a much more immediate threat than any kind of actual armed conflict. He specifically said how Huawei in this. And it's funny how that company keeps coming up. And that's why I say that this is the corporations versus the corporations. Let me read some more. It says, a week later, Federal Communications Commissioner Brendan Carr called on the government to ban TikTok in anxious interview. In June, he urged Apple and Google to remove it from their app stores, citing its pattern of surreptitious data practices. Last week, Senator Marco Rubio and Representative Mike Gallagher, both Republicans, introduced legislation that they said would ban TikTok and the other social media companies that are effectively controlled by the CCP from operating in the United States. So the Republicans, so this is you. It started off with the guy Mark Warner, Democrat Virginia, saying that the app, has security concerns. So what I'm saying is both sides, especially the Republicans, more than the Democrats, are going to be able to use this as a tool to get votes.
Okay, to let you know, Huawei, it's a telecommunications company that makes the ZTE phones, and the Biden administration has banned approval of their telecommunications equipment because they pose an unacceptable risk to U.S. national security. That's why they keep coming up in this, is because they were one of the first ones that were banned because of that, and people are like still reacting to that, and they're comparing the two of them because of how dangerous supposedly the leaks are.
Yeah, but I'm just harping on the fact that you know how our system works with the lobbyists, the money influences that lead to certain, like, if a company wants, to make a lot of money and they don't want competition, then they can influence legislations, influence Congress, influence, I don't know, because we know that with the CIA related to like the banana wars, all of the things in Central America, the history of that is really clear. So, and they were protecting these corporations, so that is a clear evidence of them working together. The CIA working with the corporations as like their damn military force, like their security force, like their enforcing the. So that's what I'm saying. So fast forward to today, and you have these tech companies, and this could be an example of the government, like, or the CIA, politicians, whoever, all working together to protect these certain corporations. Do you get what I'm saying?
All I'm hearing is government's got to be bad again. Corporations got to be bad. It's got to be somebody. Follow them, whatever. It's got to be bad. It's got to be them. It's something here. It's between them. It's got to be bad. They don't want something here. It must be bad. It must be control. It could
Well,
very well just be they don't want people with that much freaking information going out there. Maybe they are actually trying to protect you a little from the very thing you're screaming about they're not protecting us from.
and that's where I always gonna be skeptical on.
Absolutely, but you're being skeptical without looking into it right now.
Yeah,
I
so like
mean,
I would
you're
want to.
literally saying all of this is wrong,
The way I would
and you
dig
should
on
let
this
these
story.
companies come in and do this despite what the FBI says, despite what Congress says, despite what 8, 10, 12 other countries around the world agree.
Yeah, I think that
But you
I don't
obviously
like.
know better from this information.
I was saying at the beginning, I would love TikTok to just be gone. Like a national ban of TikTok. Hey, I'm on board with that all the way. And I think that, what did they say? What was the country? India, was it India, who already banned TikTok? But I don't think, for my motivation for TikTok to be banned is not necessarily related to this stuff here where they're talking about the surveillance and stuff like that. Because I feel like these other apps, these other corporations, they're doing the exact same thing. So the problem I have with TikTok is its content and the way it is set up to like have people spending so much time on there and basically brainwashing them and turning them into robot zombies.
So 9 countries so far have completely banned it.
Get it the hell out of here. I'm not defending TikTok. Um,
But then
well,
again, I think that many or more have banned Facebook as well.
see, you know, uh, I'm uh, um, I'm not defending TikTok. It's, damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, them using it politically. Oh, I was talking about the money. Oh, the way I would dig on this story, the direction that I would go to dig on this story, which I think would be interesting, would be to follow the money and see what corporations benefit from this, and which ones will be hurt from it. I think that would be revealing of what's, going on here. Because Facebook is having a hard time. They probably freaking keeping Facebook afloat. The government.
Dime qué tú quieres, papi. ¿Quieres que lo mueva para ti? Mueve, mueve. ¿Te gusta cuando me muevo así?